Everything discovered on Mars so far. As most die-hard NASA stans would readily admit, the Martian surface is just another pretty dry topic on the table. Nonetheless, there may be some great news for all lovers of the red planet. What if we told you NASA's new Perseverance rover is currently making stunning discoveries involving the Wright brothers airplane, a harbor seal, and the virtues of demanding personal hygiene? Come and join us as we move around the red planet with the help of the Perseverance rover. And trust us, you'll be perplexed by the tons of things that have been found on Mars so far. Let's get into the heart of things. Sometime last year, scientists came up with a theoretical belief that there might have been traces of microbial life on Mars some 3 billion years ago. According to the experts, 3 billion years ago, conditions on Mars were probably the same as those on Earth. NASA sat down, thought things through, and decided to swing into action. For NASA, if their mission becomes a success, the technical insights gained while on the task could also help in paving the way for future manned adventures to the red planet. As far as we know, and at the time of presenting this, the Perseverance has been on the red planet for less than 100 days, but a whole lot has been discovered since then. For one, vital proof of concept data was collected from the very landing process itself. NASA's mission's all-new terrain relative navigation made use of some really amazing onboard mapping cross-referencing to pinpoint the landing zone of the rover to about a few meters. The camera on board the craft was carefully monitored and every landing step was recorded. You should also know that monitoring those cameras was no small feat, since even a minor overshoot would have landed the rover in trouble. And with the rover in trouble, weeks of hard driving it to where it should be would have been a massive waste. Interestingly, the data collected right now will prove invaluable to future missions on the planet. During the entry and landing of the rover, 3 types of sensors were deployed: thermocouples, pressure transducers, and heat flux sensors. These sensors were effectively employed in collecting data on the temperature and outside pressures before and after the grand parachute was deployed. One major discovery that promised lots of potential was that every single thermocouple survived the landing impact. Invariably, this was enough to say the heat shield damage was almost negligible. And as the thermocouples are by no means mission critical, it only suggests that future landers could successfully get by with thinner heat shields, saving all important weight. With Perseverance safely deposited on the Martian surface, it has been doing exactly what we'd all be doing if found in the same position: blasting rocks with its awesome space laser. Or maybe we wouldn't be doing exactly that anyway. A peek at the pictures sent back from the iconic red planet recently revealed the condition of the rover's new Chorizo crater home. The home is presently studded with light-colored no-rocks peering out from a landscape of russet-colored soil. By the way, some of those rocks have been singled out for special attention by the coolest man-made device ever sent into space: the Perseverance SuperCam. So, let's check out what this SuperCam does. This magnificent device rocks up to its target stone and then continues to fire a tiny pinpoint laser. The incredible side to this amazing machine is that it can fire accurately up to 7 meters away from its target. When the powerful beam strikes the rock, it sends up a brief, superheated cloud of plasma, comprising free-floating ions and electrons. Amazingly, Perseverance's onboard spectrograph can accurately read this short plasma signature. It was even able to identify the chemical composition of the rock. Out of the rocks discovered, scientists have identified 2 particular rocks as worthy of the SuperCam treatment. These rocks have been nicknamed Yigo and Maz. You are probably wondering what some of those are. Well, they're not actually words from the Navajo dialect. These names were actually coined by Aaron Yazzie, a NASA engineer and also a proud member of the Navajo Nation. Anyway, it turns out that Mav, which only means Mars, and Yigo, which means diligent, are basalt-like in composition. There's something more to these rocks. They are igneous. They actually came from a volcano. But even more amazing is the fact that they seem to have been molded into their present shape amid some long-gone watery environment. Now, this is something to ponder over. We say that because this is exciting proof that the Martian surface hasn't always been a dry topic. Another noteworthy rock Perseverance has pored over is nicknamed the Harbor Seal. This particular rock is dark and smooth. NASA believes it was sculpted into a sinuous likeness of that playful marine carnivore by the natural erosion of powerful northwesterly winds. This discovery supports the already existing weather modeling of the red planet's atmosphere. We really think that this counts as valid and useful data for upcoming researchers. Apart from being so cute, the SuperCam's really cool laser does not only provide Perseverance with visual clues for mineral composition of rocks. As silly as this may sound, the sound of the cam's zapping sci-fi laser also furnished the rover with clues of the stone's makeup. Actually, one of the most groundbreaking aspects of the mission so far is that it has successfully enabled everyone back home on Earth to listen in on the Martian landscape. This is all thanks to Perseverance's onboard battery of microphones. In addition to the incredible sound from the laser, an audio track also dropped on NASA's SoundCloud of the rover's heavy metal wheels clanging and banging across the hard-rocking terrain of the red planet. Not to mention the eerie ambient susurration of extraterrestrial winds available to anybody who wants to hear it online, which in our opinion is absolutely magical. Even more magical is Perseverance's marvelous MOXIE unit. This unit has performed nothing short of alchemy, transforming base carbon dioxide to life-giving oxygen. MOXIE, which stands for Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, since you're probably wondering, is a gold-plated gizmo that is roughly the size of a car battery. It is a technology demonstration on the NASA Mars 2020 rover Perseverance, investigating the production of oxygen on Mars. On April 20, 2021, MOXIE produced oxygen from carbon dioxide in the Martian atmosphere by using solid oxide electrolysis. The produced oxygen was nothing less than 5 grams. This works out to around 10 minutes worth of breathable air. The MOXIE unit works by diffusing atmospheric carbon dioxide through a non-porous disk of deuteria-stabilized zirconia, or YSZ, sandwiched between 2 porous electrodes. MOXIE is not just the first instrument to produce oxygen on another planet, paving the way for humanity to literally colonize the universe. This unit is also the very first device of its kind to help future missions live off the land, harnessing elements of another world's environment for fuel. This entire setup is known by fancy engineering types as in situ resource utilization. This basically means using local carbon dioxide to make oxygen, to then make rocket propellant, and, as the name instigates, this is a much bigger job than just plain old breathable air. In order to create enough fuel to launch, say, 4 astronauts off the red planet's surface, a future mission would require roughly around 15,000 pounds, or 7 metric tons of rocket fuel and 25 metric tons of oxygen. This is evidently way too much to carry from Earth. By contrast, those 4 astronauts would only need around 1 metric ton between them for breathing. MOXIE has proved that this can be done by a larger descendant unit. An amazing breakthrough. Don't you agree? Of course, the most eye-catching wheeze on this mission so far has been the successful deployment of NASA's $80 million helicopter called Ingenuity, and also affectionately christened Ginny. If you think this is super cute, wait till you learn that Perseverance is also nicknamed Percy. This minuscule chopper only came into the picture about some weeks ago, and has since done a pretty amazing job. Ingenuity is just a small robotic solar helicopter operating on Mars as part of NASA's Mars 2020 mission. It is really a breathtaking device that performed the first powered flight on another planet. And the very fact it survived the trip is still a miracle to date. Certainly, making an airworthy vehicle that's dinky enough to be sent on an interplanetary rover is an amazing achievement and paves way for future missions exploring areas unsuitable for rovers. As we speak, engineers are ravenously collecting data from this one-of-a-kind thin-air copter to be used in the design of smart micro-drones or drones that fly at high altitudes for applications here on Earth. One particularly arresting scientific observation concerned the solar panels mounted near Ginny's rotor blades. Engineers blew a long time trying to figure out if there was some way of mitigating the inevitable coating of Mars dust the panels would attract, and if it would lose power in doing so. In the quest to find suitable answers, countless solutions, like many windscreen wipers, were pitched and rejected on the basis they would add too much complexity and weight to the rover. But when those dual rotors started spinning, technicians noticed Ginny's solar output actually increased by a couple of percentage points. Experts have speculated that this is because of airflow from the blades self-cleaning Ginny's dusty solar panels. Of course, hygiene matters, even on Mars. Ginny is also carrying a very special payload, a postage stamp size square of fabric that has one part of the Wright brothers' historic 1903 flying plane. This fabric was carefully attached to the craft as a tribute to the real aviation OGs. And to date, the fabric is still up there. There you have it, guys. Everything discovered on Mars so far. So, what do you think? Are these breakthroughs worth the insane budget NASA is consistently pumping into the project? Or will we only breathe easier when Ginny sends back a selfie with a little green man? Let us know in the comments section. If you liked this video and are a fan of crazy, really educational videos just like this one, stick around and see what we have in store for you in our next video.